Hi everyone, welcome to Travel Massive Live. This is Maria, I'm joining you from Sofia, Bulgaria. And today we have a startup pitch webinar. We have three amazing speakers joining us that will present their startups. We have Václav from SmartGuide, he's joining us from Prague. We have Wendy from Secret City Trail, who's joining us from Lisbon. And we have Stephanie from Travel Porter, who's joining us from LA, where it's very early in the morning. And for this webinar, we have Alex, who is the founder of Claim Compass. He's also startup advisor and mentor. Alex is going to choose the winner at the end of the webinar. So just a few quick notes. We'll start with the three pitches. Each startup will have 6 minutes to present their product or service. And if you have any questions, just use the chat box on your right to post them, and we'll get back to them at the end of the webinar. This webinar is recorded. You will receive the recording and all the links mentioned during the webinar afterwards. Okay, so Václav, whenever you're ready, you can start sharing your screen and the stage is yours.
Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Hello. Perfect. So, hello, I'm Václav from SmartGuide. Well, our motto is we turn every phone in.
Václav,
does it work?
We can see your notes, so if you can share the presentation in full screen, that would be good if you don't want to give up the, but however you feel.
That's true. All right. Yeah. Didn't think of that. All right, let me just get there. So, is it better this way?
Yes, we can see.
Perfect. So hello, I'm Václav. Our motto is that SmartGuide turns every phone into a personal travel guide in your pocket. So I'm sure that we are joined by a lot of passionate travelers. Now imagine you're going, for example, to Cambodia, right? And imagine that when you get there, if this thing moves. All right, that when you're planning the trip, it's very easy to actually book your flights. It's easy to get the inspiration what to do in the place, right? But then, it becomes very complicated when you get there to really do the very detailed planning and to actually get around without, conveniently without actually jumbling many apps together, like the different blogs and Google Maps and Wikipedia, or carrying around the heavy book, right? So this is our solution. We, again, turn the phone into the most convenient personal guide. And, we tick all the boxes about what the tourists actually, or the travelers want. So this way we can really help to turn them from tourists into explorers, because we offer them the recommendations, what to see and do. We have the interesting information about the places they visit. We offer them the local activities and experiences which are linked to the location. And of course, we have the offline maps and the navigation, right? So we actually, have pre-planned tours in the destination, which you can select based on the topic. We bring you to the start of the tour, and then we guide you around like a live guide. And whenever you actually approach any interesting site, the GPS automatically triggers the audio, shows you the photos about the point of interest. And then if you're on a tour, we tell you where to go next. Or you can just do the free walking mode, where you just walk around, and whenever, again, you approach an interesting place, we tell you the story about it. And then there is the augmented reality navigation, which helps people to kind of understand where they are, where to go next, in case they get lost or it's not very clear to them from the map. Well, another problem we solve is that actually many tourist destinations fail to develop their own apps. So there are a lot of destination apps or attraction apps, but they are usually very bad often from the very start. But especially after 2-3 years, we actually see the apps that they fail technically. And of course, the visitors don't want to really download a new app for every single place, right? So the platform, which now covers 400 destinations, really, makes it much more convenient. Again, that you don't have to look for the apps and so on. So we are really the platform which is kind of in the middle, you know, bringing together the independent travelers who want to get the convenient guide, the tourist destinations whose actually mission is to share the official information with the travelers, or you know, we have other sources of the content which can be ours, or soon we are going to actually crowdsource it using the professional guides or the micro influencers in order to actually get a lot of the more authentic information and the hidden gems. And then of course you have the local businesses which are kind of who are interested in bringing the travelers as well as their customers, offering them the value adding services without actually spamming the tourists, the travelers. So we really care a lot about recommending only places which have a good rating and who we would say recommend to a friend, right? So for the destinations, we can actually easily help them to digitize the content they have and put it onto the platform which already exists, which is cheaper and faster. It has much better features, and actually it's more convenient again for the users. We can even bring the users to them, and it's another channel how to distribute you know, quickly digital content, you know, to improve the experience of the visitors, right? And then we work with the different private partners, B2B partners, like transportation companies like Deutsche Bahn, Trenitalia, RegioJet in the Central Europe, or hotel chains, for example, who again offer SmartGuide as an additional service to their core product. So whenever you, for example, go from Berlin to Prague with RegioJet, you receive a free premium SmartGuide for Prague as an extra perk. So this way we actually can really bundle it with the other products and offer it to big amount of travelers. So we can monetize then, you know, into the business model. It's a freemium model, which means we want everyone to feel what the product is like. If they want to download the whole thing with the audio and with the augmented reality offline, then they pay per destination. And so which can nowadays, they can do in 400 destinations around the world. We have about 200,000 users. We won many different competitions, including again the German railway competition for the startups, for example. We are an official application of Prague, of Brazil, of Dubai, of Harvard University, and we again work also with many private partners as well, and because we would like to again spread the app among as many travelers as possible. And we are actually building, hopefully, the future of the travel, because we are extending the number of people who actually will learn about what they see in the destination, because many people these days don't really go to the tourist information, and or they join the free guided tours, which often don't tell the really true information. Or even in the developing countries, you sometimes when you find the guide, they don't really tell the correct stories. So we are really extending the guiding market. We are making it more accessible. We are making it more convenient, so that people really have all the flexibility and freedom to stop, to take the pictures, go around the corner, drink a coffee, and then continue on the tour instead of following an umbrella or carrying around 3 years old guidebook, which weighs 2 kilos and has very outdated information. So this is our mission, and we would like to again include more of the hidden gems and the authentic information, so that it really is not just about the must-sees, but also about the authenticity when you travel. And we would like to again also add there the context to the private guides, the professional guides, so that people can book with them the private tours further, instead of course, fighting the guides. And again, we want to help the destinations and attractions to digitize with the quality, so that it's all on one platform. So this is basically it. So you're welcome to try it out and give us comments in the app if there are some suggestions what to improve. We'll be very happy to do that, and we are of course looking for representatives or destination managers in many different countries who would help us with the business development now in the B2B. Mostly. So in that case, please get back to me, because this is what I take care of in SmartGuide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Václav. That was very interesting. If anyone has any questions for SmartGuide, please put them in the chat box and we'll get back to them after the 3 pitches. Wendy, whenever you're ready, it's you.
Čekejte, prosím. Wait a moment, please.
I need Vaclav to stop sharing the screen, I think.
I think we're ready.
I am ready, but I cannot share the screen until Vaclav stops sharing his.
I think he stopped sharing his screen already.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
great. Great. So hello, everyone. I'm Wendy. I am the co-founder of Secret City Trails, and we are a marketplace for city discovery games. We currently have more than 120 games across 50 cities all over Europe and Singapore. And super happy to chat to you guys today on what's for us an exciting day, because we have announced our investment from Transavia, one of the Dutch airlines, part of the Air France and KLM group. So before I tell you about how our games work, I want to explain a little bit more about why we started Secret City Trails. So our first game that we made in Amsterdam was really for locals to fall in love with their own city again. And we wanted to create something that would take us, not going to the same hipster places, but playfully and spontaneously discovering our own city. So we made the game for locals and soon found out that actually travelers wanted to discover the city playing games as well. So a little bit of background on what problem we believe we are solving. Most importantly, we're solving the problem of mass tours where you have to book in advance, that are going to be at a fixed time, that require you to follow the guide and their fixed path, mostly taking you to the main sites of the city in large groups, as you see on the picture on the slide. So we wanted to create something that's different. And also, even though we already book a lot of our experiences online, compared to flights and hotels, it's actually very, very limited what we book online in terms of experiences. And a big trend that we're playing into is the fact that people want to do local and authentic experiences, but they want them to be instantly bookable rather than have to book them far in advance. And they book most of their experiences once they're in a destination. So what are our games? During our games, you solve a trail of riddles, and each riddle are mysterious directions that take you from one location to the next. And then in each location, you answer a question. Once you do that, you unlock stories about history, culture, art, and you get local tips to businesses and cafes along the way. And our games are instantly bookable, something people want today. You can pay the game and straight away get access to your game. They're guideless, so you don't meet someone in person, but all the games are made by locals. So you follow in their footsteps, but you can do it whenever you want, whenever it fits your schedule. And the fact that we're doing games means you're gonna have fun. Also, what makes us different is that our games are played via a web app, which means you don't have to download anything. Once you book a game via our website, you pick the neighborhood you want to play, you pay online for a group of up to 5 people, you receive an email with a link, and then you open that in the browser of any smartphone, which means you need a little bit of data, but it looks as sexy as an app. It's just easy in your browser. So just imagine, as a local, instead of going to the same bars and places every weekend, you actually play a game, get your friends together and discover new places, and you give back to the locals who create it, as well as the local businesses that we take you to. And as a traveler, you'll be able to go truly off the beaten path. You don't have to follow the big groups. You can go at your own pace and again, play to discover. So a little bit about our business model. We sell our games directly through our website, as I mentioned. The price varies depending on the length of the game, and it's anywhere from 15 to 32 euros for a team of up to 5. And we also sell through different channels. So for example, Get Your Guide, one of the biggest experiences booking platforms, but we also partner with KLM already. You can buy with your miles. And because today, since Transavia invested, we'll be partnering with Transavia and offering games to their flyers all over Europe, which we're very excited about. And then what's very exciting for me to talk about today to this community is the people who build our games. So in the beginning, Christina My co-founder and I, we built all the games ourselves, but we realized to actually scale, we needed to work with local creators. So we built a framework that anyone can follow. More than 200 people have signed up so far to create games in their own city. Many have come to Trvl Massive. And for those of you who joined at the start, Maria was saying we've done some events in Lisbon with the Trvl Massive community, and some of those community members have already created their own game, which we love. So if anyone's interested in building games in their own city, we'd love to hear from you. You can sign up on our website, secretcitytrails.com. And we work with our creators. We compensate our creators. Every creator receives a €200 creation fee and 25% of each game sold. And really, as I said, anyone can be a creator. So we have people that are art historians, musicians, tour guides, entrepreneurs, and more. Then a little bit about where we're going next and the love that we've received so far. So out of, actually it's now 2,500 reviews, we have only received love. So people enjoy our games. The current review score is 4.52 out of 5. And the most used word that people type to describe their experience is fun and then educational, which are two amazing things when you want to discover a city. And we turn a lot of our customers into ambassadors. Around a quarter of our customers comes from word of mouth. Now, that's not where we're going to stop. Our overall vision is to preserve and promote cultural heritage through the power of play. So just to highlight two things, we know we will be the go-to city discovery activity, even replacing regular walking tours. We really believe play is the way to discover a city. And in 3 years from now, we'll be in 250 cities in both Europe and the US with more than 2,000 games. And we're also excited to share that we'll be taking our games beyond cities. We're launching pilots right now inside museums, but also we're looking to collaborate with galleries and other locations that we can playfully discover. And that's it for today. So as I said, just for this community, we're always looking for creative humans to build games in their own cities, to show the secrets, and of course, affiliate partners to promote the game. So that is it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Wendy. If you have any questions for Secret City Trails, please use the chat box and we'll get back to them in the end. Don't be shy, guys. We have some time for questions. So Stephanie from Travel Porter, please, it's your turn. You can start whenever you're ready.
All right. So hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Nissen. I'm the founder and CEO of Travel Porter. So Travel Porter is a style concierge that connects the traveler with personalized clothing recommendations to rent or buy through our platform of local boutiques and national retailers that are delivered to your destination. So think Rent the Runway meets Stitch Fix for travel. So I invite you to imagine the future of travel retail that starts before you ever leave your house for a trip. Forget last minute packing, you're traveling without luggage. Now, the moment you walk into any airport lounge, hotel shop, or cruise ship, you're greeted with a very inviting, minimal atmosphere that makes you want to stay and enjoy yourself. There is a dedicated space for Travel Porter Style Concierge. Our concierge team are assisting travelers to complete a profile where they get personalized recommendations via the AI style engine, connecting travelers to fashion and other items at their destination. The travelers can then choose which items they want to rent or buy and have them delivered instantly. So there's another space adorned with greenery dubbed the Sustainable Travel section. And here, travelers are educated on how to offset or reduce their carbon footprint, highlighting Travel Porter and various other sustainability partners. And there are interactive screens in different parts of the space. Here, travelers can get personalized recommendations or browse data on the destination they're flying to and get recommendations on places to stay, where to eat, and what to do. So this is a place where travelers can really discover, connect, and relax. So I know you can't all participate, but I have a question, which is, have you ever had an airline lose your luggage? So this is something that happened to me a few years back, and the idea really struck me. I just thought, what if I could arrive at my destination and my wardrobe was waiting for me? This is, something else I started thinking about was the current travel retail experience, which is nothing like I mentioned in the slide before. Excuse me. I really saw the innovation was lacking here, and that really there's a huge opportunity for disruption in this market. So aside from the ease, the Travel Porter solution addresses a few of the top pain points while traveling. We reduce the amount of luggage, so it could be the difference between a carry-on versus a checked bag. We remove the stress from outfit planning and packing. And the bonus is you get to really experience a personal stylist who creates a wardrobe based on your needs. We provide a new experience, and it's much better than technology alone because we do have the personalized wardrobe, which is based on our stylist team. This year, we're actually rolling out an experience where we're going to feature local boutiques. You can actually discover, local fashion. And the positive thing too, which I'm really excited about, is that we'll have a positive, lasting effect on the environment, not only in the travel space because we offer sustainable rental clothing, but also in travel because less weight on planes is actually reducing your carbon footprint. So I'll take you through the travel journey, but just to give you a bit of background, the majority of my background lies in the fashion industry. I was a designer turned stylist and transitioned into the world of fashion tech. So, when the Travel Porter idea occurred to me, I was really bought into the whole rental idea, which has become the future of fashion if anyone has kind of seen the trend last year with retailers. And the difference though is that it is a very personalized experience. So how it works is usually a customer, books a trip and then they don't really think about the packing and outfit planning until they are probably like 10 days before their trip. So that's the point we're trying to capture customers. And what they do is they go online and fill out a style assessment. And this comprises of a trip detail section, which is where you're staying, the dates, and then the activities that you're doing on your trip. And then we ask your style and your sizes. So what colors, patterns, what your height is, and we get all this information, and then our personal stylists and our algorithm together, we put together a lookbook, and it's actually emailed to you or sent via text, and you get to review this lookbook, which has all the items that you could possibly rent, and then the items you choose are then sent to your hotel or wherever your destination is. The people can then, when they check out, either leave it at the front desk or return it at a USPS in our prepaid shipping envelope that we provide. So mainly people are using our service for business trips, but definitely, the sightseeing or kind of the beach vacations are the other popular options. We currently just do women's, and we have size 0 to 24. We have hundreds of brands. And our business model works. We just charge a flat fee per item at $65. If you fall in love with an item, you can then purchase the item at a discount off the retail. And then we're actually starting to charge local boutiques to be on our platform. So I'd like to also offer the Travel Massive family here just a really special gift towards their first travel wardrobe. You can use this code at the bottom. And we're really seeking travelers. We just really want to have people discover Travel Porter and share it. We're also looking to do this year more B2B partnerships. So hotels, airlines, travel agents, we're really open. If you're an influencer and want to be part of our brand ambassador program, we'd love to have you. We're seeking some kind of press opportunities. And we just actually had an exciting interview yesterday with New York Times, and it'll be in the trending section on Monday. And then we're seeking funding too. So if you'd like to talk to me, here's some contact information at the bottom. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. If anyone has any question, please use the chat box. We do already have a few from our live audience. If Václav is here, we can start with him. So Václav, if you hear us, please turn on your mic so we can hear you too.
Yes, I can hear.
Awesome. So we do have a question. Do you provide museum guides?
Yes, we provide some museum guides as well. I mean, like castles or zoos or some museums. Actually, the navigation is much more useful outdoors, where you can really get the GPS signal because very few places really installed beacons So we're discussing with some airports at the moment or convention centers, which would, but otherwise we basically can guide the people instead of the old school hardware audio guide indoors, and we can have the augmented reality features there as well, but the navigation doesn't work indeed.
Okay, we have a second question for you from Julian. Does SmartGuide have paying customers, for example, in Prague, Harvard, or are these free proof of concepts?
Well, we have many sources of revenue, right? So we get the SaaS fees from the partners like Prague or, the different destinations or, Harvard University, or of course the attractions themselves, again, many, UNESCO attractions in the Central Europe and so on. Otherwise, we barter it for the distribution to the tourists, right? And then, of course, the users pay for the premium. Again, it's a freemium fee, so they pay for the premium as well as they purchase the experiences through Get Your Guide, which we fully integrated into the app. And these are their sources of revenue.
Awesome, thank you. I think the next question is for Wendy from Stavros. So just to repeat the question to have it in the recording, how do you vet the quality of contributed games?
Great question. So all our games are reviewed by our team. And also each game before it goes live is play tested, which means it needs to be tested twice before it gets sold on our website. Our creators only get their creation fee once the first 5 games have a positive review. So it's a final layer of quality assurance. In case there's something that needs to be improved, that will happen before they get paid their creation fee. And just to add to that, as I was saying, the review score is 4.5, 2 out of 5. And actually that has gone up since we started working with local creators. And this also shows from the creativity that they put into their games. There's people that now turn entire games into rhymes. So actually, we thought we were pretty good at building games, but there's people that are even more creative and actually improve the quality overall.
Awesome. If you have any more questions for Wendy, please use the chat box. We have a question for Stephanie. Let me see, from Julian. How does it work if you need alterations, for example, you're not a standard size?
So with rental, there's actually no way we can alter the clothing because then it wouldn't, it'd be hard to then rent to other people. So as a stylist, we always suggest some kind of tricks, which is like safety pins or Hollywood fashion tape. And for the most part, those solutions work pretty well.
Awesome. I think there is one more question for you. So Stavros is sharing, my bag was late. I went directly from the airport to a formal meeting in my jeans. Would your service help for that?
So yeah, actually with our local boutique strategy, part of the solution is if you need something immediately, we have a logistics partner that will actually go to that boutique and deliver it to you as quick as possible. That's something that we're implementing this year, so we're getting there.
Awesome. No more questions in the chat. Alex, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now.
Yeah, thanks so much for first of all for having me. This is going to be really tough because all three companies and pitches were super interesting. I did try to take notes as much as I could. So I'm going to start with SmartGuide. So I had a question on the data usage that I would need if I was traveling somewhere to use your app. How would that work and how heavy is it? If let's say I'm traveling outside of the European Union where I actually have to pay for roaming, how would your app work?
Right, so as I said, you can fully download it offline, including the audio and including the augmented reality navigation, so then you don't need any network. That's the premium feature you pay for per destination. In that case, you don't need anything. The app itself has like 23 megabytes as a platform on Android, and then you download the single application, the destination where the size depends on the number of routes. So like in Prague, we have 17 different tours. Of course, it's bigger than a place where we have one tour.
Very cool. And you did mention, or I think I saw that in your deck somewhere, that your customer acquisition cost is 40 cents. Is this per actual paying customer, or
No, that's for an active user. And
that's
then
for an active user? Okay.
right. So it's between, yeah, it's around 40, 50 cents. And then of course certain percent upgrade to the premium, certain percent again buy the some of the activities, and that's the B2C part of the business model, right?
Okay, and you on average, so I have no idea how long you've been you've been in business, but on average, how active is a user? How often do they use the app? And let's say, have you noticed any patterns in terms of if somebody is at a destination, on average, how active are they during their stay at the said destination in your app?
Um, So there definitely, we see patterns like super users who really use it in the whole region. So they like it in the first destination, then they use it in, say, 5, 6 destinations, one after another. The screen time is definitely way higher for the B2B sourced customers because they're more relevant than those we acquire through the B2C, say, campaigns, right? And there we see on average the screen time somewhere around 40, 60 minutes, some, depending on that, on the destination. Also depends on the quality of the content, which varies, to be honest, depending on either what we get from the city or, how much we gold plated. Like, so in the major destinations around the world, we make the content, of course, better than in the more minor ones. So this is the average, about between 40 and 60 minutes screen time.
Mm-hmm. And I had just one more question regarding that, because you brought it up as well. On the content, so who creates the content? I mean, you create it in-house?
Yeah, so we have different sources. So we create a lot of those, excuse me, a lot of those tours ourselves. So we have a relatively big content team, which otherwise does the quality control, and we also, use other sources of content or some partners we have in because locally, of course, that's often, better in terms of the authenticity. And then we tried again now to really get a partnership with the destinations or attractions so that they provide us the official content. So the stuff they have in the brochures and on the website, we want them to really convert it into the guided tours, which we can digitize for them, right? So that's then more factual, but that's the highest quality in terms of the factual part, so to speak. But it's not often that engaging as really what we write, which we try to make more guiding content, including the stories and the curiosities about the place, right?
Got it.
And in the future, we are actually just, we're just building the content management system so that we can open it for the professional guides and the influencers. In that case, you're going to do more quality control, but, the idea is that the local guide can really digitize himself and he can get a passive income from the tour he sends every day to 1 or 2 groups he guides in person. But another 30, 40 people can actually take the same tour through the app every day, right?
Got it. Okay. Thanks so much. Yeah. This is great. I had maybe a couple of questions. I don't know, Maria, if you wanted me to go through my list of questions for everybody.
Yes, we have a little bit of time, but let the answers be like very short and precise.
Okay, cool. Got it. So, yeah, Wendy, also great pitch. Interesting, very interesting. Actually, I was really surprised to see that you've gotten so many reviews, which means that you've most likely gotten even more users that have actually done the games.
Yes.
So this is great to hear. I actually love the idea. I think it's great. I had a couple of questions on what is on average, what's the repeat usage of, because the games seem a little bit pricey to me, and for, let's say, 26 to 32 euros, even if I'm alone or if I'm in a group and then we're collectively playing the game, I'm still paying the same amount, I would imagine. But on average, do you see people, returning and then using it in different cities, or using several games in one city if you offer that?
Yeah, great question. So I'm going to keep it as short as I can.
Yeah.
So around repeat customers right now is at around 13-14%. It varies a bit. At the beginning of 2019, it was like 1% because we didn't even cover that many cities. We do see a lot of people play in their own city and then play when they travel. But for example, in London, 80% of our players are locals and people keep coming back. And across all our cities, it's around 4 months in between games played that they come back for the second or third game. In London, it's sometimes like 2 weeks in between. So it really varies a bit per city, but if we're taking the overall average, those are the numbers. And just a quick note on price, we benchmark against like two things. In terms of tourists, we tend to benchmark against like a walking tour, and if you pay per person, it's already more expensive. Or even if you do the free one, you pay like, if you're a good human, you tip 10 euros each probably. And then escape rooms, which are like anywhere from 60 to 120 per team. So then actually 15 or 30 euros for a group of 5 people is not so bad. But of course, if you're playing on your own, we agree it's a bit pricey. So we're trying to figure out how to maybe do something about that.
Okay. And so how do you, if let's say I've downloaded your, I mean, I haven't downloaded it because it's a web app you mentioned, yeah. But is there a way for you to activate a user? Let me rephrase that. Is there a way for you to know that I'm traveling so you can activate and suggest a game or something that I can play rather than relying on me to think and be like, hey, I'm in a new city. Maybe I have a couple of hours to kill. Then maybe I can play a game.
Yeah, love that you asked that, because actually people, Portuguese tax law, have to put which country they're from when they buy the game. That's the only actual thing we ask besides your name, your email, and of course your credit card details to pay. You put the country. So based on that, we put you on a specific email list. And if you played in London and you said you're from the UK, you'll get more London games. But if you actually played somewhere else, but you said you were from London, we'll still do like UK games or suggestions for when you travel. So we, on that location that you put as you buy, we target the follow-up emails that you receive from us.
And so what's the argument for not actually having a native app of, having an in-browser, a web app?
Yeah, so for us it's interesting. When we started, of course, we didn't have the resources to go native. We started with a web app, and I mean, it was text messages to begin with, to be fair, then web app. And then we found so much research, even of big brands going away from their native apps, going to progressive web apps, which we are turning it into eventually, just because it's so much faster to push updates rather than having to do to iOS and Android. So we actually, we first thought we would do a native app, but people love this. They don't have to download anything. They just open it on their browser or their phone. It's only 2 megabytes because it's just text-based, because we want you to look up at the city, not stay more on your phone. So actually for what the experience that we give you, this works really, really well. Not to say we'll never go native. It might coexist, but yeah, this actually worked well, and people also don't have to take up precious space on their phone.
Very cool. Great. Thanks so much. Yeah. So yeah, this is great. Thank you. And Stephanie, so thanks so much for that pitch. It was great, super interesting. I gotta say that I don't really know that much about fashion tech, but I did have a couple of questions. The first thing that stood out to me, I just had a quick glance on your website, and I noticed that it costs $130, if I'm not mistaken, for 2 pieces, right?
Yeah, so 65 per item.
Yeah. So, but it's a minimum of 2 items, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then if you were to compare this with, I think it's Rent the Runway, right? I think you mentioned it. So I think they cost $159 a month and they ship to your address. So basically for slightly cheaper, your unique value proposition here would be that you're basically shipping at my destination, and I don't have to pack it and then bring it back with me. Is that the main difference?
No, actually it's the personalization. So we actually have personal stylists. They don't. Theirs is more like an e-commerce. You go on, you can browse thousands of items. Ours is more like, you don't have time. You want to leave the packing to us. So you're saying, here's everything I'm doing on my trip. Here's my information. And we send you 30 items to look at. And then the other thing too is the local kind of flavor that we're starting to add. They're working with huge designers and brands all over the world, but I really want to create an experience where you can travel to your city and actually experience fashion in a new way.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And so when you say that you provide a convenience of, not having to do the packing or thinking of matching outfits and so forth. So for 130, so 65 a piece, I get 2 pieces. But if, let's say, I really want it, I'm going to Austin, for example, for a week. If I really wanted to fully experience the convenience of not having to pack, how much would that end up costing me in terms of, having an outfit for every day?
Right. Yeah. I think like right now our average order is like 3 items. So people are using it for fairly quick trips. We do offer, like, this isn't on our pricing model on the website yet, but we're trying to figure out how to, if you want 6 to 10 items, offer, a discount where you're getting more items, you're getting more off. But that's not really like the user at this time. So, and part of the other thing what we would like to do is offer a like quarterly subscription for frequent travelers that maybe includes 10 items, and you can kind of disperse the clothing throughout your travels. Mm-hmm. So there's kind of some ways we're trying to figure out how to make the clothes cheaper, because I understand this is a higher cost, but it is comparable to any other kind of rental, and our average retail price point is $250. Mm-hmm. You're saving a significant amount of money on the items.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think this is mostly what I had as questions for everybody. Just so we make it on time here. So Maria,
yes. I think we can wrap this up by you announcing who do you think the winner should be. Of course, all of the startups did very well, and go for it.
So first of all, it was really super interesting to learn what these 3 companies have been, have built. Really, I got to admit that I didn't really expect that they would be, so advanced at their stage and have users and clear traction. So again, it's a tough decision, but I think I have to go with the Secret City trails, because I really think that there's a very good opportunity for a community, for building a community around it. And I'm really surprised that you've managed to get this much traction with a web app and not a native app, and not even from what I understand, not even a progressive app yet. And I can only imagine that if you were to, there's some really, quick and easy wins where you can, use location services and you can track people and then find out where they're traveling, or even come up with with a login with Gmail, then just scrape their email, their inbox, and then find out when are they planning on traveling, where are they traveling, based on their PNRs and so forth. And then you can just easily activate these users. So, it sounds like this is something that people enjoy. And at the same time, it's not very disruptive, because you're right that, having to start your phone, trying to figure out where to go, typing stuff and then opening TripAdvisor and then Google Maps and so forth and so forth. So I really think that this is something that has some great potential, and it's very interesting. And the fact that you're crowdsourcing the games themselves is very, very interesting as well.
Awesome. Thank you for the feedback as well, and for the ideas.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. I think we can wrap this up and call it a day. Thanks to the pitchers on this webinar. Of course, we will continue to support all of you in our community, and we wish you all the best with your projects. Thanks to everyone who joined us live. Thank you, Alex, for your feedback and your expertise. We are recording this webinar, so you will receive it in your inboxes in the next few days. And of course, join us for future webinars, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having me. Yeah,
Bye.
everyone.